Oh, hello, and welcome to Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
And I'm Dr. Leviathan.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories most creepy and most pasta. Tonight we have, again, Homicidal Lou. So, if you haven't listened to our April Fool's episode, Homicidal Lou is essentially about the brother of Jeff, the killer, who survived his attack, but had the urge to kill, has the same urge to kill as Jeff, but holds it down. Gains a girlfriend.
He holds it down for his girlfriend.
Yeah, he holds it down for the girlfriend. He finds his calling, he finds a way to keep it under control by killing criminals. But then a criminal kills his girlfriend, so then he decides to take it out on the rest of the world and become something like Jeff. So that's the quickest rundown I think we've ever done. Well, but it's because we did the big rundown in the April Fool's episode. So this is more or less what we actually thought of Homicidal Lou. We'll start off. This one was done in Spanish originally, but somebody decided, a couple of people have decided to translate it to English, and very shittily, I might add.
Yeah.
They
ran it through Google Translate and just that's it. That's all they did to it. They didn't try and, fix it afterwards.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of just, it's hard to read. There's a lot of shit that just does not make sense.
I had about an hour or two of doing nothing, and I knew I had to read this for that April Fool's episode, and it was just, if I didn't have that hour or so of just sitting around in a place, I probably wouldn't have gotten very far in the story. Because I kept constantly having to mentally my mental faculties were working a little overtime on this one, trying to just keep okay, that's what he meant here, or this is what he meant here. Okay,
yeah,
to keep the flow of the story and the narrative going.
When I find other grammatical errors, I usually just read over them and fix it, just subconsciously almost. But this, you just can't do that. You actually have to okay, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. And the writing itself isn't very good. It's fan fiction. It felt very, if you've ever read, bad fan fiction, or just, a high schooler's, fan fiction about, the perfect day or something like that.
50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
I haven't actually read it myself. I've heard it to make fun of it.
Yeah. Well, I've heard it originated from a fan fiction of Twilight. So
yeah, I think you heard it from me.
Okay, probably.
And I am a credible source.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just the dialogue is really kind of painful in spots. And they just again, I don't know if it's because of the translation problems, the error with that, but it just feels very forced a lot of the time.
I think it's a combination of the translation and of the bad dialogue.
Yeah.
Bad dialogue, poorly translated, makes it just truly painful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the best way to put it.
Probably. There is a part in this that I think I touched on in the April Fool's episode where they mention apparently Jane the Killer, but I didn't even, when I read through the story, I didn't even realize that was pertaining to that. It just mentioned that there was a victim of Jeff's that had been bleached with white gasoline or something like that, or there was some convoluted thing there. And then I even looked down in the comment. The comments of this are entertaining as hell because of people freaking out over the same things we're freaking out over. But somebody mentions that was an interesting touch to have Jane the Killer. It's what is that? What was that? It was just how did you draw things to that? How did you draw? I can't remember the word.
Connections.
Yeah, how did you draw connections to that?
I honestly didn't catch it, but I also haven't read Jane the Killer because, I feel my life has been painful enough.
Yeah.
What with Jeff and now Homicidal Lou, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just, the whole...
It's very tropey.
Well, it's not even tropey, it's just bad. But, okay, in Jeff the Killer, you got the sense that Jeff was always a homicidal maniac who just hadn't killed yet, like, up until he snaps. And Lou wasn't a homicidal maniac.
He had those
at
tendencies.
All. He was... No, that Lou was just a normal kid. Yeah.
Oh, you mean in Jeff the Killer's creepypasta?
Yes.
Gotcha, okay,
Because I said in Jeff
the
Killer. So, Jesus Christ, eat a dick.
Nice, thanks. All right.
But in this one, you know, it's just like, okay, Lou is totally not a killer, but then he wakes up after his attack, and he's like, oh, I just want to fucking kill indiscriminately.
So much pain. I need to kill.
Yeah. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
I just...
Like, I think they describe it like he was, like, in so much pain that he just, like, his sanity just snapped. Like, I don't know. Like, it's hard to say because, like, he was also, like, immobilized, so, like, for, like, days or weeks on end. And so, like, that might have, like, also pulled away at his mental stress. But, I mean, it's still, like, I'm giving it too much credit.
No. It's incredibly incredibly not feasible that this would happen. And I'm sure someone can completely, you know, say I'm full of shit on this, but...
And if so,
that's
like,
just not how crazy works, right?
Yeah.
You know?
It's usually...
Someone who is a completely normal, well-adjusted individual doesn't go through a single experience and just like, fuck, I've got to kill!
Yeah. Like, that said, though, I mean, like, people can, like, be pushed over the edge, but he wasn't pushed over the edge. I mean, it was pretty dramatic.
Pushing over the edge is more of a slow burn than, like, culminating in, you know, larger and larger events as it goes, whereas this is just like, really bad shit I've got to kill.
Yeah.
Now, I did appreciate the fact that he's like, oh, I've got to kill, but he finds a reason not to.
Or not to kill the one good thing in his life?
Well, no, he finds a reason not to kill, so, but he still has the urge, so he solves it by, you know, getting rid of, shall we say, undesirables.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. This is not the venue to explore it.
Yeah.
But, you know, neat idea, just, like, I mean, completely unexplored in this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, yeah, it doesn't go into, I mean, I guess it's a good thing and a bad thing that he didn't go into detail of, like, how he was coping, like, by killing off these people and stuff like that. But, yeah, and they just, like, they had, like, really weird details a lot of the time. Like, I don't know, it's like he murdered the one person and got blood splatter on it, but luckily it was a leather jacket. And so then he went and bought leather pants. Like,
yeah, just,
and then,
like,
so he could bleach them in white gasoline. What?
Yeah, for no reason. Like, that's in the story for no reason.
Yeah.
And it adds nothing, and all it does is make you kind of scratch your head. Like, white gasoline?
I kind of attribute that to being bleach, but yeah.
But why would you bleach leather?
That could have been, yeah, exactly.
Like, there are so many questions that come up, probably just because of the translation a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes just because...
Also,
someone read a bad creepypasta
and loved it,
and then did fan fiction of it. And fan fiction is always, well, quite often lesser than the thing
previous
that
product.
Yeah,
not all the time, but most of the time.
Then you end up with a fanfic that's worse than Jeff the Killer, when Jeff the Killer was
pretty bad, pretty down at the bottom of that barrel,
pretty horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it does surprise me that, like, so many kids, it seems, like, high schoolers and whatnot, love, like, at least in, like, the comments and stuff I've read of Jeff the Killer and Jane the Killer and all the other bad, like, spin-offs that have come out of Jeff. They seem to, like, really enjoy this type of thing. So it's, like, some kind of weird, morbid fantasy. I don't know. It's kind of baffling to me. It's just like, why would you like this? Like, this is a killer. Why are you rooting for... Why do you think this guy's cute? Like, it's just... Ugh.
It's part of the whole... I'm assuming, anyway. I mean, this is very fucking baseline analysis here, but it's probably something to do with the fact that, you know, a lot of people that age, they just don't feel... empowered in general. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Regardless of anything else like race, gender, sexual orientation, people of that age just in general feel less empowered than they have as, younger kids or will as adults.
Yeah.
And this is, Jeff the Killer, I can't even begin to guess what the fuck Lou says to these people, but Jeff the Killer is someone who, got stepped on, but refused to be stepped on, and, lashed out violently.
Yeah.
Which is something that most people, and I'm just thinking back to my high school years and my, teenage years, I'm guessing that a lot of people at that age kind of would like to, but don't, because, they understand they're not psychopaths.
Yeah, they're not sociopaths. They're not
so
psychos,
they understand that, there are consequences, not even for them, but, if you go on a fucking killing spree...
Your whole family and,
the pain doesn't
people,
stop with your victims. It goes to their families. It's your family. It's you, because you're more than likely going to get caught.
Yeah.
So it's kind of maybe not like wish fulfillment, because people don't really want to, but they kind of would like to. They would like to, but they're not going to.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It seems like that kind of thing. It also seems like it's this came up actually with the Magnola case a couple months ago, where when that creepy dude in Quebec got captured or got caught for killing his roommate and sending body parts to places. He's in prison right now, and he's in court. But while he was in prison, this woman from Ontario started friggin' sending him emails and stuff, and wanted to have his kids and wanted to be his wife and stuff like that. Like, for some reason, she was super infatuated with him. So I'm wondering if it's something.
Oh, there's lots of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
Yeah, that's I'm giving that as an example of another maybe another reason why people just for some reason get infatuated with these killer characters.
I attribute that more to just having a whole slew of issues, and
probably,
you know what, maybe I'm a little bit of a dick and not really giving them the fair consideration that one should, but seriously, you're trying to hit on, someone who is a clearly fucked up individual.
Yeah, exactly. But back to the story. Also, I love, again, another thing, I don't love it in that, I enjoyed it. I found it very funny when the girlfriend, who apparently had, the mother and father syndrome from, Marty, the McFlys, where, they felt like she fell in love with Lou, by taking care of him and stuff like that. That thing that nurses apparently do, where they fall in love with their patients. I don't know. So it is a thing. I've heard of it. But anyway, it seemed like that whoever wrote this was going for that kind of thing that was happening. I assume.
I just attribute it to poor writing.
True, that could be it too.
We need to, in order for him to blah, he needs a love interest. Let's have it be the nurse.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's I honestly just attribute that to just shit writing.
It could be that one too.
But saying that someone's I'm gonna throw in this, no, that's giving them way too much credit.
Yeah, that's actually not what I meant to say though. Also, so that there's that. But when he wakes up and they meet for the first time, they start talking. It's like, oh well, you need a place to stay because you probably don't want to go to your the crime scene that is your house, and it's a bloodbath, blah, blah, blah. So you can stay at my place. Since my parents are died in a car accident, we have spare rooms. That, made me chuckle so bad, because it was what? It was just so, I don't know, it just felt so, stupid.
Well, again, it was just
bad writing. But I just liked it, in terms of moments that were the small semblance of enjoyment I got from reading this. It was for the wrong thing for the story was intending, but it was hilarious.
Oh God, this whole story is like that. I genuinely enjoyed myself reading this, but not because I was reading something that was good or entertaining me, but because it was just so delightfully bad.
Is this the room?
No, because that's not delightfully bad. That's painfully bad. This is I don't know. Why can't I think of any of the really horrible movies I like?
We can pause for a second. You can figure.
This is like Monkey Shines. You know, it's just really bad, so bad, but you kind of enjoy the whole it doesn't make any fucking sense ride.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about this one that we didn't cover. Or any kind of clarifications from our previous episode. No, I think...
except for the fact that it was definitely not liked.
No, yeah.
This is not good pasta, but it was an entertaining read.
Yeah. So, actually, I guess with that, would we still recommend it, or no? No, not at all. Not even for the train wreck. Okay. Because I was honestly going to say no for it, regardless.
Train wrecks are a case-by-case thing. Like, not everyone likes the same train wrecks. Like, if you ask 10 different people what their favorite bad movie is, I think we all have one, like a guilty pleasure or what have you. You're going to get 10 different answers most of the time. And, yeah, like... I can't recommend a train wreck to someone based on the fact that I enjoyed my time reading it, because they probably won't, because it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
You know, that's my stance on this. I mean, that and to recommend this to people means that, well, first you're gonna have to read Jeff the Killer, and that's just something that shouldn't be forced on people.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yes, I see what you did there, Leviathan.
Yeah.
Well, we needed that episode for the show.
Uh-huh.
I like to think we're doing some good with this show, where we're creating awareness in some cases for the bad ones, and we have to suffer sometimes for the good of the people. We're doing it for you, audience. And with that out of the way, because that's pretty much it for Homicidal, we have a side order of The Boy Who Loved to Read. So this one is really short. It's a micropasta. It's also a parody pasta, and you'll see why.
Once there was a boy who loved to read. He read everything in a bookstore and asked the owner if there was anything else he could read. This proprietor, there we go, sold him a book for $50, and warned him to never read the first page. And the boy finished the book and was always perpetually curious about what was on the first page. And he read the first page and saw the book was only worth $7.
Dun dun dun! Yeah. It is literally two paragraphs.
I kind of gotta say, if the kid read everything in a bookstore...
Yeah. Why did the guy just bring...
Is this kid Richie Rich? Or...
Oh, yeah, like...
Did he owe the proprietor way more than $50 because he read all the books without paying for any of them?
Yeah, like, it's kind of weird. Like, I mean, I could understand maybe if it was...
So, I mean,
yeah, like,
as a parody, it fails because...
Yeah, because it's asking too many questions at this point, because it's like... I even caught on that, like, when we were reading it. It was like, wait, why is he read... If he's read everything in this bookstore... Why hasn't the guy doesn't the guy have, like, new, like, subscriptions in, or, like, some new product coming in every week or something? Like,
yeah.
Like, is the kid reading that much? Also, yeah, what kid fucking spends $50 on a book if you're not rich?
Well, I mean, hey, if you love to read, you spend your free money on books. I remember being that kid.
Yeah.
You know, I loved going to the used bookstore because I got the most bang for my buck at that place. I was paying, like, I don't know, fucking $5 a book.
Yeah.
Probably less. I don't know. It was ridiculous. I could go in there and get, I could go in there at the, end of the school year and get a summer's worth of books. And, I mean, when I was a kid, summer was the time where I got to read, because I didn't fucking go to school. I didn't have to,
You weren't forced to read books you didn't want to.
Yeah, I was home during the day when there's nothing on TV. And, I mean, that's back when I only had 4 channels. Now I've got, a couple of hundred, and there's
plus
still
Netflix.
nothing on TV. Yeah. So... Obviously, there was really nothing worth watching on TV then. I had free time to read books, and I could, walk in with, not a large amount of...
No,
I didn't even need to spend $50 on... Anywho, that's just my love of used bookstores.
Yeah.
So
go support your local used bookstore.
However, what I'm saying is that I can totally identify with kids spending $50 on books.
Okay. I don't know. I thought it was a little like just thinking on it, it's like, why does this kid have $50? But I guess it's a parody pasta. So I mean, it has a quaint little twist at the end, or like it has a quaint little thing at the end, which is kind of humorous. And it does try and treat itself like a creepy thing until the very end, like giving the book the title Death and stuff like that. But there's not.
It's I don't know. I think it kind of fails as a parody because like just a moment's thought about what you've just read just completely destroys the premise.
Having to rethink on that
every level, and it's just like it was kind of funny, but. Yeah, this is a parody in the vein that the scary movies are parodies.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy parodies. I mean, things like Spaceballs, Robin Hood Men in Tights, the Hot Shots the 2 movies in the Hot Shots series.
Yeah, The Naked Gun.
Like, I haven't really seen them, but I'm sure I would enjoy them just because, Mm-hmm. But, people, I don't know. Just in general, calling this a parody pasta just kind of makes me weep for what has happened to parody in general.
Yeah.
Because, there's no thought. I mean, at least it's not just, dick and fart joke, but...
Yeah, exactly.
It's still, I don't know, it's silly on the face of it.
Yeah, could have used a little bit more thought onto, like... Just so that it doesn't leave the reader thinking too heavily on it. But then again, maybe they were trying to, they're hoping that people wouldn't think too heavily on it. But not an excuse.
But, if anything, that's just a further complaint. Because people are stupid enough, we don't need other people asking them to be stupid.
Yeah. Yep. All right. I know I want to recommend this one just because it's... more like just because it was just
okay. Unless you listen to my recap of it,
never mind. Yeah, I just realized. Yeah, okay.
Because I kind of fucking ruined it.
Also, you actually you almost read the entire thing.
Pretty much. So, I mean, unless you listen to that, sure, go ahead and read it.
Or maybe not. Okay.
I would recommend it just because, you know what, it was cute, it was innocent, I mean...
It doesn't take any time at all.
I can tear it apart because, you know what, it's not, if you give it a moment's thought, it just kind of does not hold up to the scrutiny at all, but at the same time, you know what, it was cute, it was fun, and I don't think it was, there's an innocence to it.
Yeah.
And... I'm a sucker for innocence.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not a creepy at all, but it's just, it has a cute little ending.
And also, a kid who loved to read.
Yeah.
Win!
Hooray for fictional characters who like to read. So, that was our episode. If you liked what you heard, if you didn't like what you heard, like, comment, and subscribe wherever this gets posted. We're on iTunes, so send us a review. That'd be awesome. We're on Twitter at Dr. Leviathan and Review Cultist. And you can also send us an email at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. Where you can also send us suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like to see us discuss on the show. We're also on Tumblr.
Facebook.
Oh, yeah. We're also on Tumblr and Facebook. So just type in the name and you'll probably find it in the search. And until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
And I'm still Dr. Leviathan.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.